Hey guys, it's me. Again, happy 2023. It's been a while. How's everybody doing? I wanted to pop in and say hello and kind of catch up with everybody. It's just me today. Andrew is still at work. But I wanted to kind of check in and let you guys know what's been up, talk a little bit about the last year, and maybe do a little bit of reflecting on goals for the upcoming year, both personally and for us at home, and also maybe for the channel. It's been way too long. So welcome to my indoor plant zone. This is one corner of it. I'm gonna do a little plant tour in an upcoming video. A lot of people have kind of asked what my setup is for the winter now that I've moved all my houseplants inside again, into the house. And I love this room, I love this setup. I'll show you guys in an upcoming video. But I haven't really filmed in the house in a while. I think my last video was probably out on the front porch. And those days are probably over for a while until it gets warmer outside. So in the meantime, this is my new setup. It is, 5 o'clock in the evening, which means it's totally dark outside. So I hope the light's okay. I think the sound should be fine, but I have a little light here helping me with the evening light. We're in that time of year when it is dark when I leave for work, it's dark when I get back from work. So let me know if this setup works for you guys. If not, I'll find something else. But yeah, I just wanted to check in. So how is everybody doing in 2023? How'd you make out in the last year? We just celebrated officially 2 years living in this house, or just about. Actually, this week, I think it's 2 years that we've been in the house. And I can't believe how quickly time has gone by. Also, sorry about my hair. I'll get to that when I update you guys on our Christmas plans. I was supposed to have a haircut a long time ago. I haven't been able to look at my own hair for a long time. Sorry that you guys have to, but we'll get there. If you like it, let me know, but it's time for it to get cut. But what was I saying? Yeah, we've been in the house for 2 years already. When we moved in, I think we had all of these grand plans for what we were going to do on the property, and we were going to document everything and film everything, and that really just hasn't happened. We've been quite busy with life and school and work changes and pandemic, and there's only so many hours in the day. So we haven't done quite as much filming as I would have liked. But as you can imagine, when we live on a property this size, there's plenty of projects all the time. So there's lots of things that we're looking into doing all the time. But especially when the spring comes, I think there will be a lot more sort of like homesteading type content projects we're working on. There's a lot of things to be done outside. In the meantime, for the winter months, I have a lot of things I'd like to do inside the house and show you, and some projects that hopefully you guys will be interested in. And there's always plant content to create. So my goal, one of them for the upcoming year, is just to be a little bit more present. I really like the YouTube community. I don't get as many views these days as I used to, but that's not really what it's about for me. Those of you who've been following for a long time are still following, and I think occasionally new people kind of discover the channel. So that's kind of more what it's about for me, is just kind of documenting our life and connecting with you guys who've been around and those of you who find us for various reasons. So hopefully we can do a lot more of that in the upcoming year. But I thought we might start by kind of summarizing what we've been up to in the last year. There's been kind of sporadic videos throughout the year, but what have we been up to? So it's been a fairly busy year. Like I mentioned, we are hitting our 2-year mark in the house, and there's always things to do. It's a bigger house than we lived in before, and it's a heck of a lot more land than we've ever lived on, probably we ever will live on. So there's always projects to do, and it's been fairly overwhelming a lot of the time because of how busy we've been with other things. It's often felt like you go full steam ahead at work all week, and then the entire weekend is consumed by projects, to the point where there have been moments when it's been overwhelming. It's projects I enjoy for the most part. I love the home, I love the property, but when the to-do list is just constantly overwhelming you, sometimes it feels like I need a break. So hopefully in the new year we'll have a little bit of help with things around here, and I'll talk to you guys about that. But Lots of projects around the property. Simultaneously, Andrew and I are both working. I got a new job almost exactly a year ago, so I'm still a nurse, still working in the hospital setting, but I'm a nurse educator now, so I'm working on teaching nurses sort of how to be nurses, which is great. It's been a challenging year. There's been staffing issues like every nurse is dealing with. There's been lots of changes in the hospital throughout the year. So I've been learning a lot as I've been kind of diving into this new role, but I always wanted to eventually combine my teaching background with nursing, so that's exactly what I'm doing now. So for the most part, it's really good. My job is 5 days a week now. I've been quite used to sort of the standard nursing 3 12-hour shift setup, but I'm doing more kind of standard office hours these days, as well as 10 hours a week of driving to and from work. So that's still an adjustment. I know a lot of people who aren't in nursing worlds don't have any sympathy, but a 2-day weekend is just too short for anybody. So, but work is good. Andrew is also working. He works at my same hospital, and he is working the nursing assistant life while he wraps up nursing school, which he's about to do. He's going to graduate in May. So I can't believe where all this time has gone, but very busy with school, working as much as he's able to. And that just takes the bulk of our time, really. So overall, I would say we have been coasting along. Work is good for both of us. School has been busy for him. And I'm about to be in school yet again in about 2 weeks. So I have to figure out how to readjust my available hours in the week again, because I'm going to restart my nurse practitioner program in just a couple of weeks. I may have talked on the channel, I was in a nurse practitioner program in Texas, and then lots and lots of things changed and we ended up relocating, and I couldn't continue in that program in Texas from New York, so I just had to kind of stop the program. And then pandemic, and then new job, and all of these things, and but now it's time to try to wrap it up, so I'm starting again in January. I have an orientation meeting on sometime next week where I'll learn more about the structure of the program, but I can sort of take it as quickly or as slowly as I want to. It's not an online program, it's a brick and mortar school, but there's a lot of flexibility in how many classes you have to take each term, so we will see what we're able to do and how I will coordinate nurse practitioner clinical rotations with full-time work. Haven't figured that out yet, but I'm excited to get back into it and honestly to wrap it up. I've been in school for far too long, so it'll be good to get that done, learn something new, and then dive into kind of what my future plans are once I am a nurse practitioner. So, but that's quite a ways off, so one step at a time. And Andrew is about to graduate as an RN, and then he's got additional plans, but I will let him talk about those as he is able. I have grow lights behind me and they're on a timer. I dimmed them so you could see me better, but I think they might be about to shut off, so that might be weird if that's what's happening. I think one of them did just turn off behind me. Anyway, so in terms of 2022, I think that about sums it up. Work, school, home projects, that's about it. Pandemic, year 2, year 3. I'm losing my grow lights, they're turning off behind me. They're turning off over there, we'll see if they turn off behind me. What else? What else have we been up to? We just got back from Scandinavia for Christmas. We went there to see my family, which was super fun. We were there for about 9 days and it was great. I haven't seen many of my family members for years. It's been like pre-pandemic since I've seen any of them, and many of them I haven't seen for 5, 6, 7 years. So it was super nice to be over there. We were at my dad's house in Denmark. He lives in Denmark now. We spent the whole time in Denmark and got to catch up with family, and Andrew got to spend his first, Scandinavian Christmas experience with my family. Meet many of them. He's only met my dad and stepmom before, so he got to meet everybody else. We're a small family, but he got to meet the whole crew. So that was really good. I got sick immediately prior to us leaving for Scandinavia for Christmas, which was horrible timing because our hospital was going through all of these huge changes. It was a really busy time. And then we were leaving, and I ended up sick in bed for like 4 days straight. I haven't been sick for probably 5 years, and the last time I was this sick, I think I was in high school, so it was bad. So I was out of commission. And finally, I did not have COVID. I tested several times, but something got me. So that was a little bit unfortunate, but I think by about Christmas Eve, I was feeling back to normal. So I got to do all of the normal things with the family. And now we are back, and it's a new year, and it's time to look to the future. And so I thought I would talk a little bit as well about kind of goals for 2023. I usually try to reflect on the past year and the upcoming year once a year, usually around my birthday time. And I'm typically not a big fan of New Year's resolutions. I think setting a bunch of goals and making a bunch of changes all at once kind of tends to set us up for failure. So I don't always love the concept of New Year's resolutions. Having said that, I always try to have goals for myself. I think not enough people have goals that they're working toward. And I think if you're not working actively toward specific goals, time passes and you feel like you've not moved anywhere. So I do like to actually set goals for myself every year. And so I thought I would tell you some of the things I'd like to work on this year. Andrew hopefully has some of his own goals. I hope he can sit down and tell you guys about them. But for now, I'll talk about me and some of the things for us in general. I did lose my lights. I didn't even realize they had gone off behind me. I just turned it back on. Shows you that I'm out of practice and in a new area. I have these grow lights on timers. I'm so like geeking out over my little plant room here. I'll show you guys like I said. But I have all these grow lights on timers, but they were far too bright to have behind me when filming, so I tried to be all fancy with them. Clearly didn't work, but anyway. So, goals for myself for 2023. It's been a fairly stressful couple of years, to say the least. The pandemic was not easy on anybody. It was not easy on me. So I made what changes I could make. I think finding a new job was a big help for me. I think it was what I needed. I was in like ground zero pandemic ICU world since it began. And after a couple of years of that, it was time to do something different. So I'm doing that. And now I'm working toward becoming a nurse practitioner. I will make, I'm sure, plenty of videos about goals for that once I get into it. I've got some time. It'll take me minimum a year, maximum probably 2.5 years to complete the program. I'd like to do it in about 1.5 years. So we'll see. And then we'll see what the future brings, and I'll talk about that once we get there. But I'm excited to be, like I said, kind of working toward that goal. I think the last couple of years or few years, we've kind of resettled in New York. Nursing in New York is very different from nursing in Texas. I was a little bit nervous or intimidated about making that shift when we came up here, but I don't feel that way anymore. Now I'm deep in it, and it's time for me to kind of work toward the next thing or my next goal. So being a full-time student and a full-time 5-day-a-week nurse will be challenging in ways I'm not even sure how it's going to work, but we'll figure it out. Andrew graduating and becoming a registered nurse is going to be huge. He's been mostly a full-time student while, he's been working as much as he's able to as a nursing assistant, which financially, if any of you have ever worked as a nursing assistant, doesn't equate to much. So once he kind of brings in that nursing salary, it'll give me a little bit more flexibility to do whatever I need to do while I'm in school. So we're gonna, continue that balance. He's also gonna be continuing almost immediately with higher education too. So we'll have to figure that out. We'll have to be study buddies. This is a pretty good dorm setup for us, I think, while we're in school, I would say. So can't complain too much. It will take some creativity to make everything work, but we've been doing that for years, so I'm not too concerned. Other things, I would like to be more active. You guys know, if you've followed me for a while, my channel has had several different focuses. I used to run all the time. I would like to run more. I have not hardly run since the pandemic started. We did go to Detroit recently, and we ran the Detroit International Half Marathon, which was super fun and felt great. And the half marathon distance is my jam. That's the distance where I feel comfortable. I had done almost no preparation for it, and I did a pretty good time, and it felt really good to kind of get back into it. But the last 2 full marathons that I've run, I've had like, not injuries, but serious problems with my right leg, right knee. I did the Austin Marathon a couple of years ago, and I think I was at mile 24 and a half. Like, I was almost a mile from the finish line when I just had shooting horrible pain in my right leg that made me have to really slow down and almost walk to the finish line. And that kind of came out of nowhere. And then I did the Midnight Sun marathon sometime after that up in the Arctic Circle in Norway, which went horribly. I had to walk for almost half the distance, and I wanted to quit. It was awful. Same issue. We were in Scandinavia this last week, and my entire family are chiropractors, so I got a new set of x-rays, and my dad and my sister both worked on me. And it turns out that my left leg is something like 11 millimeters shorter than the right leg, which now I have heel lifts, which makes me feel really old. They go in the shoe, they're little inserts, and that should help a lot. But it almost makes me hesitant to push myself running too much knowing that. So I need to do a little more research in better running shoes and running with that heel lift on the left side, and because I think my right-sided injuries are compensation for the left-sided stuff. So wanting to run more, but now I actually want to be more careful than I ever was. So I don't know. We have gym memberships. We have a fairly decent home gym. We have a treadmill and a bike and a stair stepper and a rowing machine at least. So here in the basement. So there's a lot we could be doing, and I'm doing pretty much nothing. So that's a goal for this year. And I overthink everything. So I have to figure out what I want to do and make a plan and then just do it. I hate lifting weights, as you can tell, but I need to do something, because the more I sit around and think about it, the more time goes where I'm not doing anything. So if any of you guys have tips, I just need to get out and run more slowly at first and just be careful, and then figure out what else to do. But that's definitely a goal. And just overall being more active, maybe a little bit healthier. I love to cook, and I cook almost everything at home. I never eat fast food or drink soda. We don't eat out a whole lot. We live kind of in the forest, so it's not, I mean, there's a lot of stuff around us, but I do a lot of cooking at home, and I don't think our nutrition is bad at all, but I'd like to level it up and improve on things, and so that's a goal as well. And then Andrew and I would like to look into family planning in the near future. Hopefully when he's done with school, we can start exploring, I should say, once he's an RN, we can start exploring our options, and we would like to do that this year, at least get the process started. So that's exciting, and it's actually super exciting. And we'll talk about that more when we get a little bit closer to that goal. But I'd say that's quite a bit. What do you guys think? I don't want to set a whole bunch of unrealistic goals and expectations that are just not going to be met, or try to change everything and then feel disappointed that I'm not living up to my own standard. So those are just things to think about and work on and focus on in the coming year. I think it would be nice if we were a little bit more social. The pandemic kind of ruined that for everybody, and now we do sort of live a little bit outside of, it's not a big urban area here, so we still don't really know a lot of people here in the area, which would be kind of nice to do. These are things like people didn't used to talk about, but now during the pandemic, it's like, oh, we have to figure out how to meet people when we've been told not to for years. So that's kind of a goal too, maybe. So I think that's about it. That's kind of what we've been up to. That's what we're looking toward in the future for this year, or at least me. And yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. How have things been? What are you up to? What are your goals? What are your things you want to change, tell me below. I love looking at comments. That interactive aspect is what I've always liked about YouTube. It's not quite as easy these days as it used to be in the early days, but yeah, tell me what's up. Tell me something new, tell me something exciting, or something stressful or disappointing. Tell me what you'd like to see from us in the future. We can kind of cater toward whatever you guys are interested in learning or knowing about. So I think for now, I'll say goodbye. I have to cook dinner for Andrew so that we've got some food when he gets home. And in the meantime, if you want to follow us, check us out on Instagram. You can follow me, Nika Sarbata. You can follow us, Urban Farm Boys, on Instagram. Not quite as active there currently. I'll put Andrew's links below too if you want to follow him. He doesn't post hardly ever on his Instagram, but I post a lot. I post almost every day. So feel free to do that if you want. Give this video a like, a thumbs up, put a comment down below. Tell me what you're up to. And I'd like to be filming more frequently. And I think the next thing I'll do is maybe a plant care video this weekend. We have no dogs. The dogs have been in Michigan while we were in Scandinavia, and there's no dogs here, and I miss them. But Andrew's gonna go and pick them up this weekend, so I'll be alone at home. So hopefully I'll have some time to show you guys around the place and show you my little plant setup. And I think that's all. So thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, take care.